Welcome to Raising Wisdom, where we embark on a transformative journey of enlightenment, introspection, and self-discovery. Here, we don't just talk about life's challenges, we embrace them as opportunities to grow, evolve, and unlock the true potential within. I'm your girl, Nico Sakari, the Mad Alchemist and your Zen Journey Coach, here to provide tools to help you nurture, align, and evolve. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let's elevate together. Welcome back to Raising Wisdom, where wisdom is free. It is here where we embark on a journey of enlightenment and introspection. Together, we will navigate the complexities of life, seeking the elusive wisdom that enriches our minds and souls. So get ready to elevate your understanding, embrace life's challenges, and unlock the true potential of your being. High vibrations, I'm your girl, Nico Sakari, the Mad Alchemist and your Zen Journey Coach. What's up? Oh my gosh, y'all, my hair has been giving me problems today. Okay? Baby's supposed to be laying down, you feel me? But she doing whatever she wants to today. It's fine. We're going to continue on, okay? The show is not going to stop. So, what's been up? Thank you so much for rocking with me last episode. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves and learned some things. Celebrating with me, bringing back Raising Wisdom for season 444 consciousness is what we're exploring, and we are in the Mad Alchemist era, so nothing is off limits. Okay. So I hope you had a good weekend. What's today? Well, when you guys see this, it'll be Sunday. So this is Valentine's weekend, and yeah, I'm not really big on Valentine's weekend. I love to see everybody, having their little time and stuff like that. Super cute, right? But I can't get down with the background history of it. I don't know. It's just something about when you know better, do better, and I be knowing too much. And so in the back of my mind, right, I'm thinking this is crazy. Plus, I'm a love bug. Super girly girl at heart, even when my thugger comes out, all right? But give me roses all the time. Love me all the time, okay? I am her. Give me the roses, the flowers, the teddy bears, the cards, okay? Love me notes, all of that good stuff. Yep, all the time. But if you did share this day, love day, with your girlfriends or someone that your significant other, then I hope you had a wonderful time and you got all the things that you wanted to. Okay, hopefully some trips in there. So yeah, I love to see it. And for all of us who are single and ain't going, all right, I love y'all. Yes. What else happened? I took my munchkin to the zoo. Well, it's a zoo, y'all. For those of y'all who are in Atlanta, there's a zoo, south in McDonough. No, not McDonough, in Griffin. Who knew, right? It's called Noah's Ark Sanctuary. Anyway, I was right here with the tiger and the lion. So my munchkin loves animals. Of course, he's at that stage. He's learning about everything. His favorites, tiger, that was his first animal that he said. Tiger and an elephant. But he couldn't say the whole thing. So he says elf. Super cute. And lions. So yes, they definitely had a lion. They had 2 tigers. And it was very powerful. I was eye to eye. Okay? And she was... yeah. In my mind, right, I think that I can talk now, say, okay, there's some apocalyptic situation, right? And the animals are loose and we're outside, right? We're trying to figure it out, all right? We in the woods or whatever have you. Don't mind me. I'm a visionary and sometimes it goes left. Anywho, you with me? We're there. And say a lion pops up. In my mind, okay, I'm thinking, look, ancestral, right? We can just... telepathic, we can communicate, all right? I can talk this lion down, right? Because remember me, baby, I got in front of that lion and absolutely not. I don't know what I was thinking. They wanted to eat me. That's for sure. That's for sure. Okay. But all in all, we had a good time. On our way out, because what they have like donkeys and jackals and these cute fox, they stink, but they're adorable, right? And baboons and monkeys and all kinds of stuff, right? However, when we're on our way out, and we go back and circle around to like the donkeys and the farm animals, pigs and chickens and stuff like that. The sheep, I mean, not the sheep, but the goats, they were super cute. He starts, he, as in Levi, starts like crying. I'm like, okay, he's like, I want to go see the lions. I'm like, baby, you want to run it back? You want to circle it back? But I did, because I'm a sucker. So went back to go see the ferocious carnivores. But it was a lovely experience. I'm so glad he had such a good time, and I will do whatever to make sure there are smiles on his face. Okay. So, so this topic, right? It's a little heavy. Okay. Yeah. So look. So today we're talking about something that does not get named often. The lot of the eldest daughters. Not the stereotype, not the strong one narrative people praise you for, but the nervous system reality of what it means to grow up being the stabilizer in your family, or just maybe for yourself, right? Okay, so small disclaimer, I have a soft spot for all eldest children, period, because it's a weight that comes with that, because if we're just going to be real, our parents didn't know what they was doing. It's not a manual that comes with it. Shoot, we parents, and we didn't know what we was doggone doing, right? However, that weight, that pressure, it definitely affects the child growing up, right? And in my experience, in my womanhood and in my motherhood, I've grown so much. I was 19, 20 when I had when I had my sons. I was in the military, and I didn't know what I was doing, but that was the option that I chose, right? I prayed for boys, and with my oldest, it's certain things that I made it one of my goals to like not do certain things that I experienced or certain things that I've seen that I just didn't want him to have to go through. But in doing that and trying to be so meticulous in things that I didn't want to do, right? A lot of things slipped through the cracks. And older mommy, knows the difference. So I feel that it's necessary to have that accountability and go back and say, if need be, hey, this is where my mental state was. And if I contributed to any types of hurt or harm or trauma, within your psyche or your emotional state or anything like that, it's on me. Hold me accountable. Let's talk about it. So I can provide you better information, healed information, So I think that's important for us to do with our children because we're all growing, and it's necessary with all love that we break these generational curses to become better as a whole. Okay. As a whole. And, yeah. So you ready? Mm. Mm-mm. All right. So if you are the eldest daughter, you probably learned very early on how to read a room, how to anticipate emotional shifts, how to manage situations that were never yours to manage. And you did it well that people forgot you were just a kid, a teenager, a young lady growing into a woman, just trying to figure it out like everyone else. And today we're telling the truth about that experience and what healing looks like now. Okay. So let's start here. A lot of eldest daughters didn't become responsible because that's just what they were, right? We became responsible because the environment required it. So When the adults around you were emotionally unpredictable, when conflict was normal, when you didn't feel safe expressing your feelings, the family system still needed stability, and children naturally adapt to keeping themselves safe, someone becomes the stabilizer. And very often, that someone is the eldest daughter. Not because she volunteered, not because she was ready, but because she was there first. Okay. And like I said, um, didn't nobody have no script. Okay. So a lot of things that were projected on the eldest child, the eldest daughters, in this topic that we're speaking about, um, more than likely wasn't intentional, but it's still a weight to carry, right? Sometimes generational, a lot of the times generational, and we're here to break those curses. And when you're the first child in an unstable or emotionally inconsistent environment, you start learning survival skills very early. You learn how to read tone of voice. You learn how to read body language. You learn how to anticipate tension before it escalates. You learn to monitor the emotional temperature of the room. That's not your responsibility. That wasn't your responsibility, right? That's conditioning upon the circumstances. You also learn to manage your emotions alone because expressing them might make things worse or might not be received at all. Okay? Drop a heart if you feel what I'm talking about. All right? You learn to stay quiet not because you don't have anything to say, but because silence feels safer than escalation. Now, how many times have you found yourself in a situation where it almost seemed as though your voice didn't matter? It was muted, right? That's some of the things that we're talking about right now. That causes a strain on your nervous system over time. Some of us learn to help siblings regulate, calming them down, distracting them, protecting them from what's happening, even though you're still a child yourself. You're still trying to figure out how to regulate your own emotions. Goodness gracious. And you learn how to protect yourself emotionally without actually being protected by anyone else. That is not necessarily the most healthiest thing, most healthiest outcome for a lot of us, right? Yeah, that usually comes with disassociation, kind of shrinking yourself to hold the room, okay? Almost becoming kind of invisible so you don't have any, kind of becoming invisible so you don't cause no problems, okay? Crazy to say, definitely is a thing. And so that creates that creates a very specific kind of nervous system wiring. From the outside, it looks like maturity. Okay, right? People call it you wise, strong, independent, or old for your age, right? But internally, what is happening is adaptation. You're learning how to function in instability. That's not maturity. That's survival intelligence. And survival intelligence is helpful when you're a child in chaos. But it becomes exhausting when you're adult trying to live in peace. You feel me? And adaptation comes with a cost. Does it not? Does it not? I know you know what I'm talking about because goodness, when I tell you the weight that I felt on my shoulders, it was like once addressing these issues, it was like a ton of bricks lifted off of me. I'm so for real. For so long, I held a lot of tension in my shoulders, just, always up like this. I'm still loosening up a bit. You feel me? Years and years and years of just, always tensed up. You feel me? So, the emotional labor of the eldest daughter is often invisible, not because it isn't happening, but because it becomes normalized very early. You're expected to understand things that were never explained to you. You're expected to forgive situations that were never repaired. You're expected to know better, figure it out, even when no one showed you how. And that expectation usually comes without support. You're told to be strong, but no one asks what strength is costing you. You're expected to regulate yourself emotionally, even when the adults around you are not regulated themselves. Okay, let's speak truth to power. And in many cases, eldest daughters were punished for coping instead of comforted. So, if you shut down, You were told you were being disrespectful. If you cried, you were told you were being dramatic. If you tried to self soothe in ways that made sense to your nervous system, you were corrected instead of comforted. So you adapted. There's the adaptation that we were talking about a little bit earlier. You learned to self soothe because soothing wasn't consistently available. You learn to regulate your emotions alone because no one regulated with you. There's a difference. And co regulation, having a calm adult help you process feelings, is how children actually learn emotional safety. That is. That is a skill to learn. Okay. It's definitely a skill to have, to always brush up on because you want to make sure as long as you're okay, you're emotionally regulated, you won't be projecting negativity and harm towards your children that you may or may not be aware of. And with that, the nervous system develops differently. This is where we start talking about the body, not just the story. All right. When a child grows up needing to monitor emotional safety consistently, right? Constantly, the nervous system becomes trained for vigilance, not peace, vigilance. Let that sit in. Let me tell you. So that can look like always scanning people's moods, anticipating conflict before it happens, preparing yourself emotionally for disappointment, and staying alert even when nothing is wrong. That's hypervigilance. And listen, it doesn't automatically turn off when you become an adult, right? Your environment may change, your life may change, but your nervous system is still operating from old survival patterns. That there is the problem. That is the weight. Always scanning, always anticipating, always prepared. Even when you're finally safe, you don't even know it, right? Because you're still almost within a prison of needing to be this this strong woman who can just fix it and take care of things and just figure it out. But caretaking without being cared for, that's a problem. That's a problem because this pattern doesn't magically stop when you grow up. Because the role didn't just exist in the family, it became internalized. So when you spend years being the stabilizer, the caretaker, the one who holds things together, the one who figures it out, the identity follows you into adulthood. As we all have experienced as eldest daughters, so many of us find ourselves in caregiving roles again and again and again, especially in relationships, in romantic relationships, which is quite unfortunate because there are lessons that are learned that could have been avoided had we had the education, the information to identify what this is and the weight that comes with the pressure that comes with being the eldest daughter, right? Definitely could have shifted, but here we are, right? Can't go back to nothing. In relationships, you become the emotional anchor. In friendships, you become the listener and the problem solver. In motherhood, you carry both parenting and healing at the same damn time. Isn't that crazy? And in community spaces, you become the dependable one, still holding on, still holding, still stabilizing, still showing up because that's what you were trained to do. But what often doesn't happen is reciprocity. Remember, I told you guys in the last episode, my words for last year was reciprocity and mastery. This was definitely a part of it, right? Because the giving and the giving and the giving, you give emotional support more than you receive it. You show up for others consistently, but few people know how to show up for you in the same way, nor are you able to verbalize that or willing to verbalize that, right? Because of the strength. You become reliable for everyone else, but rarely get to fall apart yourself safely. And it took a long time for me to even know what that looks like, right? Outside of being alone. Um, but a lot of that was self-sabotaging and self-damaging because I didn't know how. I didn't know what safety looked like, right? To have that space to let go without internalizing, right? And over time, the body starts telling the truth that the mind has often been overriding. That for me has shown up in ways that has affected me. Panic disorders, panic attacks, not okay. Okay. Not fun. Because the nervous system can only carry so much for so long. That's when things start to show up physically and emotionally. And you guys, we cannot afford, especially as Black women, to um, not clear this out, okay? Because our hearts can't take it. Physically, we can't continue to live like this and take it. Exhaustion, excuse me, that's bleh. Exhaustion that sleep doesn't fix, panic that seems to come out of nowhere, right? Shut down when you're overwhelmed, dissociation when things feel like too much. These are not character flaws, and they are not, excuse me, these are not character flaws, okay? They are signals. They're the nervous system saying, this load is too heavy. And many eldest daughters interpret that moment as failure, all right? So the weight gets heavier, right? Because how am I failing? When I'm fixing everything, I'm here, I'm there, I'm taking care of it, I'm figuring it out. So yeah, so we're thinking of it as failure when actually it's the body asking for relief. A sigh, a breathe, a 4 minutes in. I'm sorry, 4 minutes. It's a long time to inhale, right? 4 seconds in, 6 second hold, 4 second release, right? Um, so yeah, it wasn't because you were weak or a failure, but because you were never meant to carry that much alone by yourself. No child is designed to be the emotional infrastructure of a family system, and no adult can sustain that role forever without consequence. You know what I mean? So, the family system that comes in with this, and the kind of, projection of it all is dysfunctional family systems. In that, the eldest daughter often becomes the mirror, okay? The reflection of it all. Now, this is not because she's trying to challenge anybody, all right? We ain't trying to throw in the gloves and hit, but because she can see the patterns she was conditioned to. She remembers what happened. She notices inconsistencies. She recognizes emotional dynamics that others may avoid and or deny. That's just a part of it. It comes with it. Okay. If you don't see it happening, then you're probably not in the right space of your healing. And it will be heavy. Over time, she becomes the one who sees clearly, the one who names patterns, the one who asks questions. Okay. That one who stops pretending things are okay when they aren't. And eventually, the one who refuses to keep performing those old roles. That's usually where the tension begins, because family systems, especially unhealthy ones, are built on balance, even if that balance is painful or unfair. Everyone has a role. The caretaker, the peacemaker, the scapegoat, the silent one, the golden child, right? The enabler, and here comes the black sheep. And when one person stops playing their role, the system feels threatened. So the system tries to correct itself, not consciously, okay, but automatically. Get that right back in line. We don't need that. That is outside of what the system and how the system operates. That's when projection increases. You may be called difficult, dramatic. That's dramatic. Ungrateful or distant. Your boundaries may be interpreted as rejection. Your healing may be interpreted as rebellion. Distance increases, misunderstandings increase, not because you're doing something wrong, honey, but because systems resist change. And this is one of the hardest realizations for the eldest daughters to accept. All right, so we have to state this. Clarity is not betrayal. Seeking the truth of your own experience is not disloyalty, and boundaries are not abandonment. They are survival. All right. These are things that you need to know, tools you need to learn in order to better yourself. They are the nervous system choosing safety over familiarity. Okay. They are the adult version of protection you didn't receive before. And learning that difference is a part of healing the eldest daughter, as you were. Now, the nervous system, all this stuff comes with a cost, and we know that, right? Because growing up in survival mode doesn't just shape your personality, it shapes your body, because children do not just experience environments, they adapt to them biologically. When emotional safety isn't consistent, the nervous system organizes around protection instead of rest. So your survival mode becomes the baseline. That can show up in a lot of ways later on in life. And hypervigilance, as we were speaking about before, always scanning for what's wrong or what might be wrong. All right, the dissociation, checking out when things feel overwhelming without even noticing it, because it's such a habit at this time. And memory gaps, because the brain stores survival differently than safety. Remember in the last episode I was telling you guys I don't remember 40% of my life. All right, we'll take a deep dive into that whole topic maybe the next episode. Yeah, so we can get some regulation on that. Difficulty resting, even when nothing is wrong, right? Feeling responsible for everyone's emotional safety, even when you are completely exhausted. So drop a white heart in the comments if you can relate to any of these things that I'm speaking. You feel me? These patterns can feel like personality, but this is not your personality. Okay? This is not even the scratching the surface of who you are. Beautiful. You can find that people often praise this as if this is just your personality, the completion of who you are, and it ain't. It ain't, right? You're strong, you're so independent, you're so emotionally intelligent, you hold everything together, you'll always figure it out. I know you gonna always figure it out. Like, well, thank you for the, uplifting, but who? I mean, I guess I ain't got no choice, because what else am I going to follow in, right? Even having a support system when all of these things are happening, it does not change what has already been in place. Okay. So even though you have a support system, you may have someone that you can call on. You're not going to. Yeah. Yeah. Eldest starters, we don't do all that. Right. You're not going to. Not in these situations. But it's important to get to that healing so you can be able to receive. All right. Many of those traits begin as adaptations, so not personality traits, nervous system adaptations. They develop to help you function in instability, and they worked. They helped you survive childhood, they helped you protect yourself, they helped you protect others, but survival adaptations are not meant to be permanent identities, all right? We're rejecting that. We don't own it. Healing begins when we stop confusing those two. So when we stop calling survival skills identity, when we stop believing that being the strong one is who we are instead of something that we learned how to be. All right, you get me? You're not the strong one. Okay, you can be strong, but my gosh, do you have to be Debo? All right. You're a human being whose nervous system adapted to instability, and nervous systems can learn new patterns. All right. We can rewire this thing. Safety can be practiced. All right. I can teach you. Come talk to me. Rest can be learned, and co-regulation can be experienced. So support can also be received on that note, right? Even if it wasn't available before, remember, the body is not broken. It's just responsive. Okay. And healing is the process of teaching the body that survival mode is no longer required. We don't need you. Goodbye. Thank you. Thank you for your services. Yeah, that safety is possible now. You can obtain it. It's free. Well, kinda. So now we've been getting to some positives, okay? Because I know that is really heavy. And I'm not trying to rush through this. I just want to get all of that stuff out of the way, because those are things that we know, we feel, we talk about. But here's the thing. Let's talk about the shift. This is a turning point. If you've been listening to this episode and recognizing yourself in these patterns, I want you to pause here and hear this clearly, my love. Nothing about the way you adapted was wrong. Your nervous system did exactly what needed to be done to survive the environment you were in. You were not too sensitive. You're not too responsible or and irresponsible for that matter. I repeat this to rewire the thought process and the subconscious mind to reestablish a healthy relationship with how you even hold on to your own self. All right. So, in knowing that you were responding to instability with intelligence, and that deserves compassion, not correction. Okay. But survival mode is not where your life has to stay. We got to break the shackles. Healing for the eldest daughter is not about abandoning responsibility. You are no longer the emotional infrastructure of the system that couldn't regulate itself. All right. You're allowed to live differently now. Because we big girls, right? And that shift doesn't happen overnight. And that's okay. It happens in small, real, intentional choices. You feel me? Okay. Okay, now, so learning to rest without guilt, all right? Because I know for like a long time, I know so many women, they're just like, rest? What's that? Girl, yes, we gotta rest. That's part of living. Resting is a part of living as well. Not just going and going and going, tense, figuring things out all the time. Excuse me. Just going and going and going all the time. Running, slow down. Rest is okay. You have permission to do all of these things now. So learn to rest without guilt, okay? Not explaining why you're tired, okay? All that over explaining. You don't have to do all that. We don't have to do all of that. It's not necessary. You're safe. Not apologizing for needing space, all right? Learning to receive support. Letting someone else listen. Have you done that? Just let someone else listen? Feels kind of weird. I know for my first time of really remembering or being conscious, aware that I was allowing someone to listen because I was so safeguarded, right? Just guarding myself all the time. Like, I can't show certain things like this. I can't speak like this, But just letting someone else listen, it was, I don't know, it was relieving. I had to get more comfortable with it over time, okay? And still sometimes do. And I catch myself and I'm like, it's okay, to run your mouth and allow someone else to listen. Nothing's wrong. Letting someone else help, that's a big one, right? Because you may have asked for help so many times and was rejected, turned away, things of that nature. And so it's just like, okay, well, I'll figure it out. I don't have any other choice. I'll figure it out, which goes for a lot of people, but not so young because you've been having to figure out how to hold on to emotions that you didn't even know how to explain. You didn't have the words for, right? Letting yourself not have the answer. Okay. You don't always have to have the answer, and that's okay. For me, not having the answer is like the train is wrecking, right? But I had to learn the release of control, let it go. The answer will come to me, all right? Everything that I need to know will happen. Whatever needs to happen, it will happen. Just kind of release and let things flow in the way that it should, that the universe allows. And that answer will come to you or will be provided for you, if you will, okay? So keep that in mind. Letting yourself not have the answers all the time, all right? Because that's stifling, if you will, allowing you not to rest, enabling you not to get that rest. You feel me? Learning to stop anticipating emotional chaos. That's a hard one because you stay clocking it. I'm not going to say that it's a bad thing, but balance, okay? Make sure that when you are clocking it, it's not from a place of trauma, but a place of clarity and understanding. You know what's going on because of the wisdom that's been stored in you due to your healing, okay? Allowing calm moments to actually be calm. Okay, that's another one. Letting your body experience safety without preparing for it to disappear, and learning to let other people manage themselves. These folks is grown, all right? They can make their own decisions, okay? You don't have to fix everything. That was one of the things with being a people pleaser. Yeah. Okay, someone tells me what their situation is. I have a solution because I'm solution based, right? Of course, you got to figure it out. And that's one thing about Nico. The girl gonna figure it out. She gonna make a way. Now, letting your body experience safety without preparing for it to disappear. It's like being so vulnerable that you tell me I gotta let all these guards down. I gotta take these stones off the wall, okay? I gotta unlock my safety box, right? Yes, yes. It's okay to be vulnerable. There's safety there too. There's softness there, and there's power there. All right. That one can definitely feel uncomfortable. Yeah, that one can feel uncomfortable because look, many of the eldest daughters were kind of have this notion to believe that if they didn't hold everything together, then everything would just fall apart. Okay. Um, yeah. But that belief belongs to the past. In the past, you are not responsible for everyone's emotional stability. You're responsible for your own well being now. And when that shift begins, something opens. Softness becomes possible. Not weakness, not avoidance, softness. Breathing without tension, being present instead of prepared, feeling supported instead of alone. And I want to say something very clearly here. Peace is possible after survival mode. Okay. Not perfect peace, but peace itself exists. All right. Not a life without challenges, but a nervous system that knows how to return to safety. That is possible. You are not broken, baby. You are not behind. You are not too much. Your body learns survival and it can learn safety too. And you don't have to do that alone. Not anymore. Okay, this is where community matters. This is where support matters. This is where tools and resources matter. Whether that looks like therapy, somatic work, sisterhood, coaching, rituals, journaling, or just simply telling the truth about your experience, healing happens in connection. All right? You're not the only eldest daughter carrying this story, and you don't have to carry it all by yourself. If you are an eldest daughter listening to this, I want you to know you're not alone in this, of course, right? How many times should I reiterate that? I wish I had that earlier on, right? Just for someone to say you're not alone in this, okay? There are so many of us who learn how to grow up fast, hold things together, and keep moving even when we were tired. And now we're learning something new, how to live without carrying everything or anything sometimes if necessary. All right, that doesn't make us selfish. Selfish is good though. I'm going to need for us to be a little bit more selfish. That doesn't make us distant. That makes us whole. All right. We are allowed to rest. I hope I've beat that in your head. We are allowed to receive. We are allowed to be supported and allowed to build lives that don't just depend on survival mode. Okay.
This is not just a planner. You'll never go back to basic planning again. This is your rhythm keeper, a sacred tool designed for the alchemist, the mystic, the dreamer. Inside, a fairy-coded flow, a vision board that breathes, a dream journal that listens, a week that aligns, a 369 manifestation chamber, a sacred traveler itinerary, apothecary, the philosopher's calendar, tracking your evolution, not just your time, and so much more. This isn't about managing time, it's about reclaiming rhythm. Ultimate Planner 2026. Mad Alchemist Edition. Available now. Your year is waiting.
This is what healing the eldest daughter looks like. Not abandoning who you've been or who you've become, but expanding who you're allowed to be. And if this episode resonated with you, I hope you take this as a reminder that there is community here. There are other women doing this work as well. There are spaces where you don't have to be strong all the time. Okay, you don't have to carry everything by yourself anymore. And this is the lot of the eldest daughter. I'm Nico Sakari. I love you down bad. In a world where gossip rules, I'm so grateful that you've returned back to shine the gems on your crown here on Raising Wisdom, where wisdom is free. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Become a part of the tribe, okay? Have a powerful, positive, prosperous, peaceful rest of your week. And I'll see you next episode. Peace.